So the general audience here hates when guys sag their pants, correct? It's like you took the incredible invention in clothing that is pants and said let's just wear these in a way that removes all the benefits they give and quat. You'd look less stupid if you were actually wearing them on your head. A well-fitted pair of pants should be snug. The top should be above the bones of the hips. The crotch seam should be tight to the crotch. You should have about a centimeter of clearance around the thighs, with more around the knees and lower leg. Fitted that way, you'll be able to do squats and knee raises without the pants impeding your range of motion. To consider where it started to walk around prison with your pants pulled down, can't you, or someone, and they told you to put your rear up for sale. I don't understand why anyone would do that. I hate it, but somehow even with a belt my pants slowly drop. It's probably from these silky smooth boxer briefs and the lack of hips in it. I wear well-fitting pants and a belt. The only thing that really works for me are suspenders, and I haven't found the right pair of those that's flexible and strong enough. Female here, at Goodwill Thrift Store, Seattle, Washington, US, a tall, white 20-something guy was told by older black, female store manager that his pants must be pulled up while in the store. What you do with your pants outside is your business, but in here, it's our call. And quad. He just pulled them up a bit, she made him keep pulling. Story time. I knew a guy in high school, drug dealer the whole deal. Now this guy looks rough, really tough looking guy with scars on his face and all that. He graduated but he would hang around to sell sometimes. One day buddy came out, pants sagged with a pink Tweety Bird pair of boxers. Not hating on the man for wearing what he has, but it was near under his. I could not stop laughing at this firm perky with the front pulled up to cover his front. They really got him good in jail probably. Moral of the story: don't bring prison culture into civil society. They get, whenever teachers mark an answer incorrect because you didn't use the method they taught to get the correct answer? No. It shows you did not learn the method you were just taught. That was what you were being tested on, not your ability to arrive at the correct answer. If I teach you methods to simplify multiplication, but you insist on continuing to simply write out dozens of copies of the number and add them all together, I'm supposed to applaud that? I'm teaching you a whole different method of getting the answer for a reason. Similarly, you can't just keep using your fingers and taking multitudes more time simply because you think that writing isn't something you want to learn. The whole purpose of math and science is problem solving, to get an answer to a problem, by any means. I believe if you can get the correct answer, it doesn't matter how you got it, you got it. There is more than one way to get the right answer, and most math teachers are coaches, at least in my HS. They don't understand it themselves and rely on the answer key. To the quote of Einstein, I understand and can figure out a computer or device and can get it to work to what I want it to do, but I cannot explain it to someone how it makes sense to me and how I get it to work. To explain it I need an analogy to something common, but for the life of me, I cannot think of a proper analogy to liken it to. I'm guessing you're right about the possibility that the teachers don't understand it either, so they're not able to explain how you had the right outcome but needed to use a different process. I do think it's reasonable to mark it wrong if they didn't use the process, because the process is what they're trying to teach at that point. But the teacher should be able to help make that clearer. I agree. My bio father has a PhD in mathematics. I was great at math when I was a little kid. I could come up with the answer, but the method was not the way it was taught. As a result, I failed math several times. As an adult, my bio father confirmed that the way I was doing it was actually a correct alternative. I felt a bit vindicated. Still have those F's on my school record though. Give me an example of what method teacher taught you and what method you applied. Coefficients and order of operations was a nightmare for me since I could look at the problem and work it out in my head using basically what for me is common sense and not waste time breaking down 12 unnecessary lines of equations when I can have it solved in like 3 in my head. I'm trying to finish the work and move on with my life, and it's almost insulting to drag me to prove what I clearly understand. Love that I saw this. My country's native language is not English, but English grammar and comprehension is a compulsory subject even in university. I have an advanced level diploma in English language from Cambridge. I got an A grade too. I'm more fluent in the language than my English professor. She makes it a point to flunk me in my paper every sem. And the funny thing is I get an 8.0 GPA in my English honors class every time. They think that the hospital system is whack? Do you have any particular country's hospital system in mind? Oh God, the hospital in my town is horrible. I only go there if I'm seriously scared that something terrible might happen to me, like almost on a deathbed. And most of the ER's doctors and nurses take their sweet old time, leave the ward for 30 to 45 minutes at a time, and when you get fed up with how long they've had you in an ER room for and you go to walk over to the counter looking for a nurse or doctor, they're all gone. I went in there one time for a fractured knuckle, and between the time they made me wait in the ER's waiting room north the time they made me wait in the room inside before they fixed me up, altogether I was in there for 6 hours. In Germany, private hospitals are a lot worse than state-owned hospitals. While privately run hospitals don't have as big a budget as state-owned ones, they try to save everywhere: cleaning staff, medical staff, food supply and other additions, and, though more rare, medical equipment. State-owned hospitals on the other hand have stricter regulations for all of above named domains, and have a budget too. I'm not an expert. I would guess lots of other factors also play into the quality difference. I also have no idea how the hospital system works in other countries. Depends what you mean. The operation of hospitals? The referral system to get anything done/be seen. Billing? A lot of the issues with hospitals are caused by insurance companies and the way they do business. I have worked in a hospital in the US for 13 years now. The hospital system is very much whack. What's the most overrated movie of all time? I love that all these answers are maybe a handful of movies just commented over and over again. Yes, I'm counting all the MCU movies as one. Here's an unpopular opinion. Spider-Man, No Way Home. I thought the plot details were sketchy and the rather plot was built around let's capitalize on nostalgia and quat. It was poorly written and Toby and Andrew weren't worth it. People who are against kids having free school lunches, why? What is really sad is when you talk to a person who is against free lunches and ask them if they are a Christian, they almost always say yes. I then ask them what about the Beatitudes in Luke? https://www.biblegateway.com/passage/?search equals Luke %206% 3a1731 an amp. Version equals NIV https://www.biblegateway.com/passage/?search equals Luke %206% 3a1731 an amp. Version equals NIV. They never know what they are. I tell them it says to give to all that ask. I am usually told they are willing to give to the deserving poor. I respond that no, where does it use the phrase deserving poor in the Bible? Hi there, I'm your average California night custodian and I clean up at my local elementary school. I have an argument against free school lunches that you may have not considered. If everyone got free meals, then there would be nothing for me to throw away at the end of the day. There are usually a lot of leftovers that haven't even been passed to the kids that couldn't pay, and I can fill an entire trash can. Many times this bin is clean and I can eat out of it. Everything is wrapped in plastic. Relax. If the lunch is free and every kid got a meal, then there wouldn't be any left over for poor little old me. Won't you stop and think about the night custodians that eat out of the trash? /S. I don't mind kids getting free lunch benefits, but why not just give it to all kids? As a parent, it makes things a lot easier. No need to pay $50 a month per kid or making lunches in the mornings. My dad feels this way. He isn't spiteful about it. In his mind, making sure your kids are fed are a pretty basic function of a parent. To him, it feels more like people trying to game the system than it does a humanitarian act. Class wars are a staple of American society. A middle-class family that is 2 missed paychecks away from insolvency needs to blame something for the place in life. A poor family that qualifies for free or reduced lunch blames the rich, and they are correct. Things are getting better though. Back in 90s at the Christian school I attended, if a kid didn't have money for lunch, they would get peanut butter on bread. No milk or jelly. You could hear the shame of lip, mouth smacking across the lunchroom.